Hi, I'm Llama Gucci from Ashijima's farm and you're watching Disney Channel.
Hey llamas, this is part 10 of the Kuroken series. It's gonna come to an end soon. I need to plan out how I'm gonna end things and such. But I cannot believe the love and support that I got for this series. Honestly, I wasn't gonna continue it after part 3, but after a lot of demand, I have continued the series and I still can't believe that. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, and I hope you like this video. Bye!
The room felt heavier than silence should allow. Kenma sat close enough to feel the tension radiating off Kiru, his knees drawn up, his fingers absently twisting the hem of his sleeve. He didn't press, he never did, but his golden eyes flicked toward Kiru, waiting. Kiru's hands were restless, tugging at the strings of his hoodie, tightening and loosening them. Finally he exhaled. You didn't ask what happened between me and Shota, but I think it's time I told you. Kenma blinked, throat tightening. He gave a small nod. Kiru leaned back, staring at the ceiling as if the plaster could make the story easier to tell. Shota and I have always been close. We met first year of high school and were best friends. I've always known I liked both men and women, so I had a crush on him but never acted on it. Mainly because I knew he didn't like me and he had a girlfriend at the time, Kimmy. Kenma nodded slowly. Kimmy's mom and Shota's mom, they've been best friends forever. The kind who talk about family vacations and futures over coffee, you know? And because Shota was dating her, everyone just assumed they'd end up together. The golden couple, perfect on paper, and I guess for a long time I thought that was all there was to it. Kiru's laugh was humorless, more an exhale than anything else, his gaze dropping to the floor. For a moment he looked like he'd rather be anywhere but inside this memory. But when I was with him alone it was different. He'd smile at me in ways he didn't smile at anyone else. He'd linger a little too long. I thought I was imagining it until he finally told me he had feelings too. He glanced at Kenma almost as if checking whether he should keep going. Kenma nodded. I thought he broke up with her. He told me he did. He told me he realized what he felt for me was real. And I believed him. I was okay with being quiet, with keeping things between us, because I knew how scared he was of coming out. I thought we were in it together, just waiting until he was ready. His voice cracked faintly on the last word. Kenma's fingers twitched before he finally reached out, brushing the back of Kiru's hand with his own. But the truth was, he never broke up with her. He couldn't find the right moment. What? Yep. He kept dating her, smiling at family dinners, holding her hand in public. And I was. He scoffed bitterly. The secret. He gave me words at night and gave her everything else during the day. Kenma's chest tightened. He gently traced circles on the back of Kiru's hand with his thumb. But she went to a different university and told me they had broken up, so I believed him. Freshman year, the night before his injury, he told me he loved me. I said it back. For the first time I thought, finally. He even said maybe he'd tell his parents about me. I went to sleep thinking everything was about to change. Kiru's jaw clenched. His eyes dropped to his lap. And then, the hospital where everything went to shit. Kenma's pulse quickened. I ran there like a madman, hard in my throat. And when I walked in, his voice faltered, his face drained, because she was there, sitting right next to him like she belonged there. And she did. Shota's mom perked up the second she spotted me. She said, Kiru, you're here. But then she said, look who came by to visit him. Isn't she the sweetest? So thoughtful of her to come all the way from Kyoto to see him. Why was she? Her words carried so much pride that I almost didn't catch what came next. Wouldn't she make the perfect daughter-in-law? Holy shit. No fucking way. Him. He let out a short, broken laugh. Daughter-in-law. That's what she said. And I couldn't breathe. I looked at him, then at her, and I realized he never let go of her at all. Kenma's fingers tightened over his wordless but present. Later, when we were alone, he admitted it. Said he couldn't break up with her. That his parents expected a proposal after college. That I was just something he couldn't give up but couldn't claim either. I walked out of that room and I thought, hell, I thought I'd never be able to look at him again. But the worst part? His voice dropped raw. The worst part is that I believed him when he said he loved me. I let myself believe it meant something. And maybe it did. But it wasn't enough. And now he wants to say he broke up with her and wants to be with me because he still thinks I'm the naive idiot that'll let him have his cake and eat it too. Kiru scoffed. Fucking asshole. The silence that followed was heavy, but Kenma didn't let go of his hand. He slid his thumb slowly across Kiru's skin, his quiet way of saying I'm here. Kiru finally glanced at him, eyes shadowed but soft. You didn't deserve that. Kiru blinked at him almost like he hadn't expected anyone to say it out loud. His throat bobbed as he swallowed, and for a second he looked away, jaw tightening. Maybe I did. For being naive. For not seeing it coming. His voice cracked just slightly and he gave a humorless laugh. I walked out of that hospital room, Kenma, feeling like the biggest idiot in the world. He told me he loved me one night and the next day I found out I was nothing more than a secret, something he could shove in the dark when it was inconvenient. And now, here we are. He's back on the team. He's still in my orbit. And every day I'm terrified he's going to use what he knows to hurt you. Kenma shifted closer, intertwining their fingers together. He looked at Kiru, his voice low but steady. I don't get why he did that to you. Why he couldn't just be honest. But what I do know is that it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't make you less. You cared. You loved him and you trusted him. That's not weakness. That's what makes you better than him. Kiru's throat bobbed his usual wit nowhere to be found. Kenma's fingers tightened between his. So stop blaming yourself. He's the one who should be ashamed, not you. Kiru's eyes softened at the conviction in Kenma's tone, almost disbelieving. And for what it's worth, I'm glad you didn't give all of that to someone who deserved it less. Because now, you're here, with me. Kiru blinked, caught off guard. Kenma hesitated, eyes flicking down to where their fingers were intertwined. His voice was soft, almost too quiet to hear. You make me feel seen. And I hate that usually. I hate when people notice me, when they expect things out of me, when they look too close. But when it's you, I don't hate it. I like it. You notice me in ways that don't make me feel small. You don't make me feel like I'm not enough. He trailed off, his cheeks pink. You make me feel like I matter. Kiru's throat tightened, and for the first time that night he was the one struggling to not look away. The faintest laugh escaped him, shaky, almost broken. God, Kenma. Kenma's thumb brushed over Kiru's knuckles. What? You don't even realize how much you undo me. Kenma's ears were tinted red. And don't worry, Fujimura can't hurt me. Kenma met his gaze steady this time. Not while you're here. And even if you weren't, he doesn't matter. You matter. Kiru's chest tightened, his composure slipping fast. He tried to swallow it down, to tease his way out like he always did. You can't just say stuff like that, you know. Kenma tilted his head. Why not? Kiru let out a low laugh, shaking his head. Because you're gonna kill me at this rate. Kenma studied Kiru for a moment, the faint pink dusting his ears the way his usual confidence cracked at the edges. And then, before Kiru could recover, Kenma leaned in and pressed the lightest kiss to his cheek. It was quick, almost hesitant, but it burned. Kiru froze, eyes wide, his brain short-circuiting in real time. His hand instinctively twitched against Kenma's, gripping tighter as though to confirm it wasn't a hallucination. Kenma pulled back just slightly, his own face pink now, but his voice was steady. You deserve so much better, okay? Kiru gaped, actually gaped, before dragging a hand through his hair in defeat. You're gonna be the death of me. Kenma's lips curved into the faintest smug little smile. Kiru still hadn't recovered. His cheek burned where Kenma's lips had brushed. I'm so glad I told you. Kenma blinked, then softened. Thank you for trusting me. Kiru went, still staring at him with a strange look. What? I just realized something. Kiru leaned back slightly, rubbing the back of his neck, but his grin betrayed him. Well, see, I've never really done much of this dating thing before, as you just found out, but it just hit me. I should probably ask you on a date. Kenma froze, eyes wide as color rushed to his face. You don't have to. No, I want to. Kiru's voice was firm, unwavering, and the sincerity behind it made Kenma's stomach flip. Kenma looked down, fumbling for words. So what do you have in mind? Kiru tilted his head, pretending to think hard, though the playful glint was back in his eyes. You'll see. Kenma stared at him, torn between dread and anticipation. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. Kiru teased, his grin widening. Kenma muttered something under his breath, but his chest felt lighter than it had in days. The next day, Kenma wasn't sure what he was expecting. Maybe a text from Kiru with a smug "ready for your surprise," or maybe nothing at all, like their conversation the night before had been swallowed whole by the silence of his dorm. Instead, Kiru showed up in person, hoodie, messy hair, and that infuriating grin that made Kenma's pulse skip. Ready? For what? Kiru's grin widened. Our date, or did you think I was joking? Kenma's ears warmed. He shook his head quickly. No. Good. Kiru shifted his weight, then offered his hand casually, as though it wasn't a monumental gesture. Kenma hesitated for a breath, then took it, his fingers curling against Kiru's palm. They walked in comfortable silence until the street corner gave way to a small shop front Kenma had never noticed before. Warm lights glowed through the windows, and the soft sound of purring drifted out as the door opened. Kenma stopped short. Is this a cat cafe? Kiru finished, clearly proud of himself. I thought you might like it. Kenma's lips twitched into a smile he couldn't suppress. That's actually perfect. Kiru nudged him gently with his shoulder. Told you I had a plan? The bell above the door chimed as they stepped inside, greeted immediately by the sight of cats lounging on shelves, curled in hammocks, and one daring enough to stroll across the counter like it owned the place. The air smelled faintly of coffee and vanilla, underscored by soft jazz playing in the background. Kenma crouched automatically as a fluffy gray tabby approached, brushing against his knee. His face softened, and Kiru watched, struck again by how easily Kenma's walls crumbled in the presence of small soft things. So cute. I know, right? Kiru smirked, but there was no teasing in his eyes this time. No, watching you is better than the cats. Kenma looked away quickly, cheeks warming again. You're ridiculous. You didn't even order a drink and you're already the cat's favorite. Maybe they just know I won't bother them. Or maybe. Kiru crouched next to him, tilting his head. They recognize one of their own. Small, cute and a little fluffy. Kenma shot him a flat look. You're an idiot. But his lips twitched, betraying amusement. When they finally got drinks, a latte for Kiru, a simple iced tea for Kenma, they sat at a low table. A cream-colored kitten immediately hopped onto Kenma's lap, curling into a ball. Kiru pouted dramatically. Unbelievable, not even one looked my way. Kenma stroked the kitten's fur. Maybe they have good judgment. Kiru clutched his chest. Ouch, straight to the heart. Kenma finally glanced up, golden eyes catching his. I'm kidding, you're fine just the way you are. Kiru blinked, stunned, silent for a beat before clearing his throat. Thanks, guess I'll take your word for it. Kenma slid the purring cat into Kiru's direction. Here, try holding it. Are you sure that's a good idea? Yeah, she'll be fine, just hold her like this. Kiru awkwardly reached out, trying to mimic Kenma's gentle grip. The cat sniffed his hand, then let out a sharp hiss, swatting half-heartedly before hopping right back onto Kenma's lap. Kiru gaped at this dramatically, and Kenma, whose eyes were widened, couldn't help his silent laughter. See? They hate me. She doesn't hate you, she just knows you're nervous. Kiru tilted his head, trying to catch his eye. Oh, that sounded suspiciously like a compliment. Don't get used to it. Kiru leaned in closer, smug. Too late already, did. A tiny tabby kitten scrambled onto Kiru's chair and batted at the dangling strings of his hoodie. See? Cats don't hate me. I think it's attacking you. Attacking? No, it's playing, we're bonding. It likes your hoodie more than you. You're just jealous. Kenma stroked the kitten that laid peacefully on his lap and looked at Kiru with a raised eyebrow. Alright, maybe not. The kitten on Kiru's lap latched on harder, gnawing with its little teeth, batting furiously at the strings like it was fighting for its life. Looks like it's winning. Kiru tried to gently pry the kitten off, but it only meowed louder and swatted his fingers. Kenma, help, please. Kenma laughed, peering the kitten from Kiru. You're hopeless. Hopelessly charming, maybe. Kenma smiled at him, the blush creeping up his cheeks, betraying him. That too. It was now Kiru's turn to blush. They left the cat cafe just as the sky shifted into twilight, the soft orange glow fading into indigo. The air outside was cooler, crisp in a way that made Kenma instinctively tug his hoodie tighter. Kiru noticed and without saying anything adjusted his own pace, so he walked just a little closer, his arm brushing Kenma's now and then. The streets quieted as they wandered toward the park. Street lamps flickered on, spilling halos of warm light across the pavement. By the time they entered the park, it was calmer. The only sounds were the distant hum of cicadas and the crunch of gravel under their sneakers. For a while neither spoke. Kiru tilted his head back, watching the few stars that peeked through the city's glow. Kenma glanced at him out of the corner of his eye. How relaxed he looked, hands tucked into his pockets, the faintest smile tugging at his lips. It made Kenma's chest feel tight in a way he didn't want to name. This man is mine? Butterflies fluttered in Kenma's stomach. So, did I do okay? For a first date? It wasn't bad. Kiru turned his head toward him, smirk already forming. Not bad? That's all I get? Kenma looked away quickly, ears pink. You didn't mess it up. Kiru laughed under his breath, the sound low and warm. Guess that's a win then. They walked a few more steps before Kenma spoke again, softer this time. I liked it. That caught Kiru off guard. He stopped walking for a beat, just staring at Kenma, who was now studiously focused on the gravel path. That deserves a kiss, shouldn't it? Kenma froze. Kiru's laugh was light, teasing, his tone edged with mischief. Relax, I'm just mess. Before he could finish, Kenma's hand shot out, fisting the strings of his hoodie. He tugged sharply, pulling Kiru down in one swift motion and pressed his lips to his. It was quick, fleeting, but it was real. Kiru's eyes widened, his whole body jolting at the unexpected boldness. Kenma pulled away just as quickly, turning on his heel to keep walking as if nothing happened. His face was on fire, but Kiru wasn't about to let him go that easily. He caught Kenma's wrist, tugged him back, and before Kenma could react, Kiru's hand cupped his cheek, tilting his face up. He closed the space again, this time slow and deliberate, kissing him with a tenderness that made Kenma's knees threaten to buckle. It wasn't just a kiss. It was Kiru pouring out every unspoken word, every hidden feeling he'd buried for years. It was hungry, aching, but reverent, like he couldn't believe Kenma was real, that this moment was real. When he finally pulled back, their foreheads rested together, breaths mingling in the cool night air. Kiru no longer felt like somebody's dirty secret. Kenma's pulse thudded in his ears, words caught in his throat. Gasp, what do we have here? Both of them whipped their heads around to see Hinata standing a few feet away, wide-eyed and grinning ear to ear. Kageyama hovered behind him, deadpanned. Are you guys on a date? Double date time? Bouquet, shut up. but it was too late. Kenma wished the ground would swallow him whole. Kiru though just smirked, not even letting go of Kenma's hand. But that wasn't the worst of things. Kiru bro, Bakuto's voice boomed across the park loud enough to make passing joggers turn their heads. Kiru's grip on Kenma's hand loosened his entire body, freezing. Oh fuck no. Before he could even think of damage control, Akashi appeared just behind Bakuto, eyes widening slightly at the scene. He didn't say anything, just gave Kiru that unreadable raised brow look that said you've got explaining to do. And then Oikawa's voice cut through the night like nails on a chalkboard. I knew it, I knew something was going on. You were gone too long at the party and don't even try to lie to me, Kiru. Shitakawa, not so loud. What is this fuckery? Kenma wanted to evaporate. Right there, on the spot. Wow, so this is what we've been missing, huh? The whole gang here, huh? Hinata, still bouncing with energy, leaned toward Kenma with stars in his eyes. Kenma, you didn't tell me you were kissing. Are you two dating? Is this a date? Hinata breathed. You guys were kissing? Bakuto clapped Kiru on the back, nearly knocking him forward. Bro, I'm so happy for you, look at you getting all romantic under the stars and shit. Bakuto, I swear to. Wait, so that kiss wasn't just me imagining things? You actually. Oikawa, shut your mouth before I shut it for you. Kenma's face was crimson. He tugged his hood over his head trying to disappear, but Kageyama's smirk only widened. Kenma, I honestly didn't think you had it in you. Respect. All you two are so cool. Kiru, you're blushing too. Look at him, Kenma. Shoyo, I will punt you into the river. Do it, I'll swim back stronger. Don't punt my mini-me. Please punt him, I'd pay to watch. Hinata elbowed his boyfriend. Ow. How romantic. Kiru's first act as Kenma's boyfriend attempted murder. I can assume you two are boyfriends, right? Oikawa smirked. Shitakawa, stop shit starting. But it's so funny, Wachan. Kenma tugged on Kiru's sleeve, deadpan as ever. Please push me first, I'm ready to see the light. Kiru laughed. Nah, I like you too much for that. He said he likes you out loud. I think we all figured that out by now, bo. Hinata clapped like a soccer mom. Wahoo, Kenma and Kiru. Kenma's cheeks flushed scarlet, his hand twitching like he wanted to disappear into his hoodie. What the fuck are y'all doing here? Hinata clutched onto Kageyama's arm. We were just walking, I didn't know you guys were on a date. It's not. I was fully stalking y'all. What? To be honest, I saw y'all exit the cat cafe and decided to follow you out here. That's why you dragged us to this park? Oops, yes. Shitakawa. What the fuck? Damn, we really have too much time in our hands, huh? What? Kenma. Yes? Why didn't you tell me? You're supposed to tell me these things. Because it's none of your business, Shoyo. Gasp, how could you say that? Wait, so you're actually dating? Like, actually dating? Kiru shot him a glare. None of you heard that from me. Too late, Captain. The cat's out of the bag. Alright, you got your show. Now leave us the hell alone. Oh yes, let's give them some privacy, guys. Bakuto winked. Shut the fuck up. He's not wrong, is he? Alright, that's enough, let's go. But, Shitakawa. Fine, but this isn't the last of it. I need all the deets on Monday. That's not happening, but please leave. It's time for us to go to Bo. Rooting for you, bro. Go make us some babies. What? Dog, what the fuck? That's diabolical. Bro, let's go. You too, bouquet. Ken, you better spill the tea or I will haunt you forever. Mind your business, Shoyo. This is my business. The chaos finally died down. Oikawa dragged off by Iwaizumi, Bakuto bouncing away with Akashi and Hinata reluctantly letting Kageyama tug him along. Their laughter and teasing faded into the night air, leaving Kiru and Kenma standing there in the quiet park path. That was humiliating. Could have been worse. At least no one livestreamed it. Kenma shot him a glare and Kiru chuckled, but the sound softens when he noticed Kenma tugging at his sleeve nervously. Hey, you okay? Kenma doesn't answer right away. He looks down at their hands, still linked, then back up at him. His voice is quiet. You didn't let go. Should I have? Kenma shook his head quickly, hair falling into his eyes. His pulse was still racing, but there was something steady in the way Kiru was watching him. No, I liked it. The words tumbled out before he could stop himself and he instantly turned away, mortified. Kiru blinked, stunned for a second, then grinned. Careful, Kenma. Say stuff like that and I might think you're falling for me. Shut up. Kiru leans closer, brushing their shoulders as they start walking again. As they walked in silence, Kenma's phone buzzed. He glanced down and froze. It was a message from Fujimura. We need to talk. What's wrong? Nothing, just my mom. Kenma's chest tightened and the screen went dark in his hand. Kenma knew what he needed to do.